part 3 is that Hercules gets a second wife, and this person pretends they love him and they care for him, and then they trick him and give him a poison cloak, where essentially, like, his skin is burning, he's being poisoned, and so to end his suffering, he builds this funeral pyre and he lays on it. And Zeus, who is his father, has mercy for him and makes him immortal and a god. Okay, and so, like, if we look at this story, from just kind of like a overall whatever, it's about, overcoming impossible odds. So maybe you or this person has overcome like a lot of really crazy obstacles. There could be like, he went off to battle, so there could be like literal battle, spiritual battle, military battle, like however you want to take that. It talks about redemption and purification. So, like, even though there was all this tragedy and these mistakes, like, he still is able to make it right. And then, like, ultimately, he's rewarded with this, like, spiritual evolution after these struggles on earth, right? And we can equate that to spiritual awakening. We can equate that to, like, spiritual ascension of some type, right? Or whatever. I don't like using those words because they're like a little spiritually elitist, but you guys get where I'm going with that. The number 787, which is kind of from what I can gather, the angel number of like a spiritual traveler or spiritual traveler. 888, which is about alignment and balance and infinite flow. And then dueling grounds are relevant. Nike, like, it could be the brand, but this was more toward like the Greek goddess. Nyx is relevant. The word retreat. Fox chase, second chance, and that was literally a sign I saw that was a thrift store, and I thought, okay, that fits in with this somehow, before I even knew what this was going to be. So they also were talking about Chaucer, like Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales, and he also wrote a poem about Troilus and Chryside, I believe. I might have mispronounced that. Don't come for me, okay? Which ironically was about the Trojan War. I had no idea where they were showing me anything about Chaucer, but it kind of hails back to that whole theme we had for a while, where the Trojan War and the Trojan horse and Helen of Troy and all of those things were coming up over and over and over again. And that story is symbolic of a spiritual awakening at the end of heartbreak, or after heartbreak, right? And some form of ascension. And then we have the song Be My Mistake by the 1975 and Shrike by Hozier. So we're going to kind of jump into this, but just to like finish this part out, I think what's happening here is there's a great, like everything they're showing me is all about like this sadness and also being sad of this fear to move. Like, there is this fear of failure. There's this fear of, what if I lose this, whether you move forward, and fuck that up. And there's fear of losing that, or you stay where you are. And there's fear of losing that, or giving that up and then moving forward and fucking it. Like, it's just so many scenarios just kind of playing over and over in every way possible, and it's almost paralyzing in the sense of like overwhelm that's like coming with this for whoever this is for. But I also want to say, by that same token, like, if we equate this to the things that they're showing us with these signs and these stories and these myths and like what's here, I think that it's really relevant, because again, at the core of it is faith over fear, right? And I think that it's like you or this person are right at the edge of alignment, or right about to step into alignment. And we always know that, like, it is hardest right before things align or start going right before you get everything you want. Things are the most intense. I also feel like whoever this is for, it's like there is some sort of time limit on this, and November is that kind of time limit. It's like it has to happen by then for whatever reason. So we're going to go to part 3. We're going to pull cards. We're going to see what's going on here. And yeah.